We're chatting with Chef John Besh, restaurateur from New Orleans, and he has a new book out called My New Orleans, The Cookbook. And John, the book is very heavy. I noticed.
I always say that it's heavy, but it's a great price per pound. Best value in the store. Priced at about $45. It weighs 5.2 pounds and worth every ounce of it.
It's a beautiful book too. The photographs in it are just incredible.
Well, thank you. We had a great time putting it all together and composing this book. And big kudos go out to Andrews McNeil for allowing me the artistic freedom to see this book through to its completion, giving us all the artistic control, making sure that we can shoot the book for 1 full year, capturing each ingredient as it comes to the peak of ripeness, and capturing
because
the
it's
holidays
seasonal, right?
During the holiday season.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for it, and I applaud them for giving me the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that's a really nice part of the book, that because sometimes I think people try to slam a book together too quickly, and you can really tell, but you can tell that your book took a lot of time and thought was put into it, and planning.
Well, I think that a lot of times chefs get caught in this world of, here, let's produce a book. First go get an agent. The agent makes the quickest and easiest deal for them, not necessarily the best deal for the chef. And so the chef oftentimes can't even tell his or her own story, because it's just, these books are cut and pasted into these pre-formatted books that they know that they can move, and they know they can market and sell quickly. And I wanted to create something that was almost timeless, something that really told a story, and something that would be more of a definitive book on a certain subject. And in this case, it's My New Orleans, not necessarily me, the chef that owns a city, but a city that I have this relationship with. And basically these are love letters about the city, and talking about the people and the culture, and how that influenced me as a child, and that which influenced me as a child still influences me today and dictates the way that I go about cooking and living.
How beautifully put, John. Not only does he cook, he's also a wordsmith.
Oh no, but I thought that, when this whole thing kicked off, I thought I could just write these memoirs, and it took me about 5 years really putting things together and thinking that I could take these memoirs, pass them on to somebody much more articulate than myself that would put them all together. And I have this wonderful editor named Dorothy Kalins, and a lot of people know Dorothy through, she helped create Saveur magazine. And so Dorothy then said, no, I'm not going to write a thing, John. You're going to do the writing. It needs to be in your voice. You tell your story, and what I'll do is we'll put the right people together to create this book and to make it a success.
Wow, that must have been a little intimidating when she said that, right?
Yes.
Because you feel confident in the kitchen, but at a keyboard, that's...
No. Well, and that's the thing. I couldn't write it via keyboard, so I wrote it all longhand. And a lot of us chefs like to sleep next to a pad of paper. I wake up sometimes in the morning or late at night before I go to sleep, and I'm scribbling something down that I think of. Hey, I want to write this, I want to write that, or I want to cook this the next day. I want to cook that, or I might remember before I go to sleep that I want to change something. So I have the notebook there, and I'm writing, and every day I'm writing, and then composing this whole thing is really quite an arduous task, because again, I didn't use the keyboard. And
but John, a lot of the best writers do write longhand.
Do they really?
Oh sure, authors, best-selling authors, they do write longhand.
Well, I had no idea.
Yeah, so you're right in with them.
It sounds good anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised about your process, because you are a creative, and cooking is putting a bunch of ingredients together and making something wonderful, and writing is putting a bunch of words and thoughts together and making something wonderful, and just like you've done in your new book, My New Orleans. So I think it's not such a stretch for you, actually. Did you enjoy the process?
I love the process. We all have had times in our life when we've talked to a grandparent or somebody close to us, or usually somebody of a different generation, and hearing about their trials and what they came across and things that they learned in life. and thought, wow, you know, you need to write that down. I could use that one day, or we could pass that on. The next generation needs to know this. And so this really became a book of stories about the culture, stories about the people, to pass on as a sense of stewardship, taking this great culture that I was given as a child and then passing along to the next generations. And there's a timelessness to that, and that's what I completely fell in love with, recapturing some of those old stories from Granddaddy, and even just newer stories about my children and how they're growing up and what food and culture means to them and how it applies to New Orleans.
Yeah, and what a great gift for your children.
And now it's like really freaking them out to see their pictures in the book. I really didn't want any pictures of myself in the book per se, because it's not about me. It's about this culture. It's about this, the I guess the expression of that culture is in its cuisine, and paying homage to New Orleans is more important than maybe the city paying homage to me. Much bigger than the cuisine and culture is much bigger than any chef or any trend or any fancy restaurant. And I think that's the beauty of a place like New Orleans with its indigenous urban cuisine that it does have.
Well, I cannot wait to read the book page by page because it's wonderful, it's beautiful, the recipes look awesome, and I can't wait to try it. So congratulations. Is this your first book?
This is my first book, and it's liable to be my last. I can't think of doing another.
I think you have a lot more in you, but this is a wonderful start. My New Orleans, the cookbook, 200 of my favorite recipes and stories from my hometown by chef and restaurateur John Besh. Thank you, John.
Thank you.